With that, I would like to thank you and to pass on the microphone to finish our day and our event to Matt Scholl, the Computer Security Division Chief. And I cannot think of anyone more appropriate to deliver the closing remark, because the Computer Security Division is the core NIST cybersecurity incubator, and Matt is the official and the highest voice in the CSD. So the microphone is yours, Matt.
Thank you, Michaela. I hope you all can hear me. I'm still a little gobsmacked from the last panel. It was amazing, and as you said, a wonderful discussion. I think I want to start by saying my name does not translate to trust. My name is Matt, so my name translates to wipe your feet, which might have as much of a security context as trust, if you think about it to some extent. But it's been an amazing 2 days, and I have been so impressed with the discussion, with the feedback, with the inputs, and we've operated at almost all levels of the stack, from philosophical discussions around the meanings of zero and zero trust, down to examples of running code and repositories and GitLabs where people can look at examples, tools, and techniques to implement these methods that we've discussed here, both for DevSecOps and looking at ZTA implementations. As you've seen, and as was mentioned, this week, the Office of Management and Budget at the White House put out a ZTA policy for the US government. Earlier in the year, the White House also issued an executive order on software security. So these two issues are of high priority and are front and center for this administration, for the Office of Management and Budget, for the National Security Council, and then naturally for NIST. And while we've all said and acknowledged that we've been talking about these issues, addressing them and working on them for quite some time, now we have a renewed focus and a renewed set of policies to help us in some of these transitions to implementations that will allow us to have better, more secure software at scale, at speed, and at velocity that we use software today, and deployed in and across environments that are inherently more elastic, are more flexible, and more secure at the same time. And a lot of these items were discussed as the outcomes that we look for in both DevSecOps and in ZTAs. And the word outcomes was used a couple of times, and I think that's quite appropriate when we look at especially the security outcomes that we seek, that we look to prioritize what those outcomes are and where they are most important for us for the assets that we have. And then we use that as our prioritization paths into our migrations. It's a lot easier if we were greenfield, as said, just to develop cloud native apps in a ZTA architecture and deploy it out to our users and our customers and our staff. But many of us are working in legacy and legacy hybrid environments that will take time to either migrate, to integrate, and then to ensure that we've got a full integration while we continue to provide services simultaneously while we migrate and start building our software, building our infrastructures using these new concepts. I think the most important thing I want to do, though, is to thank everyone, to thank you all for working with us on these challenges, for helping us and helping the US government as we build out to these new policies and to these new executive order requirements, in sharing your experiences and your expertise and your talents with us. And I ask you also to continue these conversations, continue with your feedbacks into our work, into our code, into our documentation, into our implementations, and then we will pledge to continue to work with you as well and to publish out, and then when we find success, to share it with everyone. So thank you all. It was an outstanding workshop. I learned a ton, as I always do. I have a book of notes here that I got to go back to, and there's a lot of you I'm going to be doing follow-ups with as well, so that I stay informed and then so I can fully understand the best ways to help everyone. So thank you all. Have a great day. I think it was said in the last panel, we can move to our frosty beverages and then have debates as to the philosophical meanings of zero trust now, especially if you're on the East Coast, because it is that time. And if you're in different time zones, then do it at your discretion. So thank you. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your participation, and I look forward to doing it again.